London is one of the most magical cities in the world, and yes, I might be a little bit biased because I live here, but there's a reason why I chose to live here. It is amazing. But I do think you are missing out as a tourist if you come to the UK and you only see London. The UK is filled with so many incredible sights to see, so I want to help you see them in the easiest way possible. Let's take a look at the 8 best day trips out of London by train, meaning you do not need to rent a car to go to these places. You can easily just hop on a train from central London and then you're there, which makes it very doable as a tourist. All of these are amazing, don't get me wrong, but we'll go in order from my least favorite all the way to my favorite day trip from London, which isn't as talked about by people as all the other places on the list. So we'll start with Cambridge at number 8, and the only reason why this is number 8 is because it's the only one on the list that I haven't been to, so I can't give as in-depth information, but everyone always includes it as a must-see day trip out of London, so I wanted to include it here. Getting to Cambridge is quick and easy. Trains run frequently from King's Cross Station and London Liverpool Street Station, with journey times as short as 50 minutes. Tickets typically cost between 10 and 30 pounds depending on how far in advance you book and if you have a rail card or not. So if you want more information on rail cards so you can get discounted train tickets in the UK, check out this video. Once you arrive at Cambridge Station, it's about a 20-minute walk to the historic city centre. You can start your day by exploring the City University colleges, which is the main thing to do here. King's College is a must-see, especially its breathtaking chapel, which showcases some of the finest Gothic architecture in England. Then you can wander aimlessly through the picturesque streets of the city centre, stopping at Market Square to browse local crafts, foods, and unique souvenirs. And of course, one of the highlights of any trip to Cambridge is punting on the River Cam. Hop aboard a flat-bottom boat, which you can either do yourself or with a guide, and glide past iconic landmarks like the Bridge of Sighs and the Mathematical Bridge. Number 7 is Windsor Castle, which is the oldest and largest occupied castle in the world, where King Charles III spends 2 days a week at. There are 2 main ways to get here, and which way you decide to take will depend on where your hotel is and how much you want to spend. First is the London Line 702 bus, formerly known as the Green Line 702. This runs hourly from London Victoria, stopping at Hyde Park Corner, Royal Albert Hall, Knightsbridge, Kensington, Hammersmith, Langley, and Slough. It then continues to Windsor, stopping right outside the castle walls at the Theatre Royal. The total trip takes about 1.5 hours if you start at the Origin, and the bus is pretty nice. It's not like a standard public bus at all, and it only costs £2 each way, so it's super cheap. The other way is the train, which departs every 20 to 30 minutes from both Paddington and Waterloo stations in central London to Windsor and Eton. From Paddington, it's about 28 to 38-ish minutes to Windsor and Eton Central, and from Waterloo it's about 55 minutes to Windsor and Eton Riverside. Both of those Windsor stations are fine. You can walk to the castle in a few minutes from either one. And it'll cost between £5 and £12 one way, depending on the route that you decide. It's £30 if you buy your entrance ticket in advance, or £33 if you buy it at the gate. And if you want to watch the changing of the guard ceremony, this happens every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 11 a.m. If you want more information on Windsor Castle and all the things to do there, check out my Windsor Castle video, which I'll link in the description below. Number 6 is the Harry Potter Studio Tour. To get here, you'll hop on a train at either London Euston or Clapham Junction train stations and get to Watford Junction. When you arrive at Watford Junction, there is a Harry Potter double-decker bus that will shuttle you from the station to the studio tour, and that is included in the price of your ticket. Make sure to buy your ticket online beforehand. They're usually about £52. As a Harry Potter fan, this is truly one of my favorite days that I have spent while living here in the UK, because it was so incredible to see all the behind the scenes magic, sets, props, and just all things Harry Potter. But I understand Harry Potter isn't everybody's cup of tea, which is why I put it 6th on the list. If you want more information on this tour and what to expect, check out the video link in the description below. Number 5 is Canterbury, which combines history, culture, and picturesque charm. Its stunning cathedral and cobblestone streets make it the perfect quaint getaway from London. So how do you get there? Trains run frequently from London St. Pancras International and London Victoria stations. The high-speed train from St. Pancras gets you there in just under an hour, while the train from Victoria takes about an hour and a half. Tickets generally cost between £15 and £30 round trip, depending on when you book. You can either head to Canterbury West or Canterbury East stations. They're both just a short walk into the heart of the city, so it really doesn't matter which one you book. The highlight of Canterbury is undoubtedly its magnificent cathedral. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site and the seat of the Archbishop of Canterbury. After exploring the cathedral, wander through Canterbury's charming medieval streets like the King's Mile, which has tons of shops and cafes, and don't forget to check out the Westgate Gardens, which is my personal favorite spot in Canterbury and the most iconic shot you normally see of Canterbury on social media. Walk along the river, see the flowers in full bloom, people punting, or even hop on a punting boat yourself. For more information on how to spend the perfect day in Canterbury, check out this video. Number 4 is Brighton, which holds a special place in my heart because it's actually where we lived for about a month before we moved to London. With its iconic pier, vibrant streets, and pebbly beach, it's the perfect seaside escape from the hustle and bustle of London. Trains depart frequently from London Victoria, London Bridge, and Blackfriars stations with journey times of about 1 to 1.5 hours. Tickets typically cost between £10 and £25 round trip depending on the time of travel and how early you book. And once you arrive at Brighton Station, you're just a short walk from the city center. You can start your day at the iconic Brighton Pier, then walk along the Royal Pavilion, a stunning palace with its unique blend of Indian and Chinese inspired architecture. After that, take a stroll through the lanes, a maze of narrow streets filled with quirky shops, vintage boutiques, and cozy cafes. Then you could take a ride on the British Airways I-360. It's a towering observation pod that offers panoramic views of the coastline before plopping down on Brighton Beach to relax for the rest of the day. For more information on the top things to do in Brighton, check out this video. Number 3 is Oxford, which is actually where my dad is from, so it was the first day trip I took when I first moved here because I wanted to see where my family came from, and it is so magical. It's a city filled with so much history and stunning architecture everywhere you look. Trains depart frequently from London Paddington and Marylebone stations with journey times of around an hour. Tickets range from £10 to £30 depending on when you book. Alternatively, you can take the Oxford Tube or the X90 coach from Victoria Station, which is a more budget-friendly option, but it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours. I've been to Oxford twice, and both times I did take the Oxford Tube bus, which is confusing because it's not the tube, it is a bus, and it's a really nice journey. The bus stop was right outside my house in Hammersmith, so it was super convenient. But whether you take the bus or the train, you'll hop off right in the city center. So start your day with a walk through Oxford's historic city center. The Radcliffe Camera and the Bodleian Library are must-sees for their incredible architecture and literary history. And of course, don't miss the iconic Bridge of Sighs, which is one of the city's most photographed landmarks. Be sure to also check out Oxford Covered Market, Christchurch College, and the Bear Pub, which is Oxford's oldest pub that has been open since 1242. You can end the day relaxing by the river, watching people punt, or trying it for yourself like I recommended in Canterbury and Cambridge. For more information on how to spend the perfect day in Oxford, check out this video. Number 2 is Bath, with its ancient Roman roots to its Georgian elegance. This UNESCO World Heritage City is a must-visit spot when coming to the UK, and fun fact, it is the filming location for Bridgerton. So if you have watched that show, it will already start to give you an accurate picture of how stunning this city is. And getting to Bath couldn't be any easier. Trains depart regularly from London Paddington Station, and the journey only takes about an hour and a half. Tickets typically range from £20 to £50 round trip depending on when you book. Once you arrive at Bath Spa Station, you'll find yourself just a few minutes walk from the city's major attractions like the Roman Baths, Bath Abbey, and the Royal Crescent and the circus. For a more in-depth guide on how to spend the perfect day in Bath, check out this video. And now for the number 1 day trip from London, which isn't on a lot of people's list, so I feel like it's more of a hidden gem, the Seven Sisters. This is the most incredible way to escape the hustle and bustle of the big city life and get into nature for the day. So to get here from London, you'll take the train to Seaford. There's a train that leaves Victoria Station about every 30-ish minutes or so, and it'll take about an hour and a half with one change. And the price will of course depend on what day and time you're going and how far in advance you book, but expect to pay about 20 to 25-ish pounds round trip unless you have a rail card, which I mentioned earlier in the video. Once you arrive at the Seaford railway station, it's about a 15-minute walk to the start of the hike, and it is truly jaw-dropping. These white cliffs with greenery on top, cascading down into this gorgeous blue water. Trust me, it's not something you'd want to miss on your trip to the UK. So let's take a deeper look at what this day trip looks like from London.